I'm not a fan of that.
This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store Forged Irish Stout. Delighted as always to be joined with a savage, Alen Babic. We're here at Matchroom Fight Camp. Well, I suppose not Fight Camp, but Matchroom HQ. Obviously, good memories for yourself here at Fight Camp, and we're back here for a big press conference. How's things? How are we feeling?
Oh, brother, amazing. Thank you for having me. It's so beautiful being here. Two of my best fights and best memories come from this, especially this alone. So it's just amazing, you know, and I know what kind of road it took me to be back here since I was down, you know, so it was a hard road and I'm back.
I was going to say that being here, it must, as you said, they must bring back very good memories, but we're talking about off camera. I don't know which one separates the two.
Yeah, actually two of my best memories out of boxing come from this long, so I really don't know, Chandel Winters fight or Barrett fight and my engagement and everything, so I really don't know. I still can't decide.
Absolutely. Well, I suppose we'll jump right into it. The reason we are here, you are taking on Johnny Fisher on the 6th of July, a massive fight for the both of you, really. Obviously, you had the comeback fight against Steve Robinson, and now to be back thrown into another big fight again against Johnny Fisher, who comes with a lot of support. Must be something exciting for yourself.
Well, every single one of my fights were a big fight, let's say that, because I caught the eye of the public, and you know, some want to see me win, some want to see me lose, but it's always big fuss about my fight, so I'm used to it. I don't know if he's used to it, so I'm very used to it, you know, and he's going to have a lot of fans, a lot of support. I'm going to have my Savage Army there also, but let's see, you know.
Well, just thinking that between yourself, everyone knows what you bring and everyone sort of knows what Johnny brings. It's almost like all-out war between the pair of you, so it must be something exciting for yourself that you know that for whatever you're going to bring, you're almost matching someone that brings that as well?
Well, I always do, because listen, anybody who is a boxer wants to fight. I mean, you can't be a boxer if you don't like a good fist fight, you know. So I think there's a lot of questions around Johnny, but there's zero questions around me, because you saw me win, you saw me lose. You saw me win in the first round knockout, you saw me lose in the first round knockout. So I've answered most of my questions, and I look at this as my job. This is not like a dream or something. This is my job right now. I've been doing this for five years, you know, so I think I'm far more experienced than him. Even in the amateur, I had 100 fights. I was one fight away from the Olympics. I was a very good amateur, you know, and I just think he's gonna drown on the weight of all of it, because he's not going to be able to knock me out like some journeyman. I think he knows that, but let's see, you know.
I was going to say that, with you saying that there, do you almost like plan to make him plan to sort of question himself when he goes in the ring with you?
Well, I don't have to plan that will happen, inevitably. He can't go around it, because when he goes in that ring, it's going to be a whole different level of fight. He never faced. I had so much better opponents, and professional and amateurs, so much better opponents. So I know what I'm facing. He doesn't know. So let's see, you know, he had a different path to me, you know. He was brought up into this sport of boxing and stuff. I was alone. I did it all by myself, you know, and I made my name by myself.
Yeah. With you saying that there about almost like making your name by yourself and almost growing up alone, do you feel like, however hard that may have been, and however hard, you know, your story is well documented of how difficult it was, that sort of attributes to having a successful boxing career, because you know you had them hardships early on, and boxing's a lonely sport in general, so almost like the pair go 2 in 2, I guess.
Well, listen, you know what that does? That does only one thing, that I'm not here because somebody wanted me to do. I'm here exclusively because I wanted to do that. And if you want to do this kind of life, you're a madman, you're crazy, man. So I don't know when he confronts himself in that ring, and he will, because I confront myself every single fight. He will, to the question, do I want this? Is this really worth it? Because it gets you on the edge, you know. And I was at the edge a million times, and I fell through every time. Fell through one, but most of the times I go through it, you know, and I know what it needs. I just know what it takes.
You mentioned sort of after the Rosansky fight how dark the times were for yourself when you had that comeback fight, and how happy you were after that. At this position in your career, how happy would you say that you are with all your surroundings?
No, perfect. Listen, perfect. I'm living out of boxing. That I'm one in only a few men who can say that in Croatia. And I came into this sport with nothing. Literally, I came into boxing to learn how to fight on the street, so I can work the doors. So that was my big like, why did I come to boxing? So from there to now being on the Matchroom show, now headlining another card, it's gonna be like 10,000 people there. You know, it just dream come true. But I can't get caught up with that. You know, I don't think about like that. Think about like another fight. I will have a first fight on this lawn if needed. So another fight.
It's a typical question to ask, but with what we were sort of speaking about, do you think that this is way a bit too early for Johnny Fisher to face someone like you?
Well, I think this is a perfectly dangerous fight for him, you know, because this is a good test. I mean, everybody will say it, and this is a good test if he can get through it, you know. If he can't, he will fall now and there, you know. So either way, he's gonna show everything on 6th of July. Either way it goes. You know.
Absolutely. I did want to ask sort of about training here. I did see you get some good sparring down at the Gallagher gym with Lawrence Okoli and Jack Massey. What was that like, I suppose, sharing two domestic, former cruiserweights and heavyweights?
Oh, it was perfect. I love sparring Okoli. That was my 3rd camp, I think, with him. And I loved it. I loved the work. And I went to that camp without a single day of training. Yeah. After fight, I was just relaxing, eating all the stuff wrong and stuff. And he just called me. He said he needed to help. Paid me good, and I said, let's go. You know, so we did 30 rounds of sparring nearly a week. It was very crazy. I sparred with some Messi also, great guy, amazing guy. I sparred with another Polish guy that was there, cruiserweight. So it was all good, you know, perfect boxing weekend, let's say like that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned about sort of being one of the only 3 heavyweights from Croatia that is sort of made it in the game. I did want to sort of ask about the weekend just gone. Obviously, Filip Hrgovic, another Croatian heavyweight, suffering a defeat to Daniel Dubois. I suppose, what did you really make of that fight?
Oof, well, it was a hard fight, and I thought he's gonna win for sure. I think most of us did, you know, and everything. But he did some things wrong, and I think he just didn't have it in himself. Like I didn't have it when I was in Dubai. I just did what I wanted to do, not what I needed to do. And I think he, through all his preparations, just did what he wanted to do, and that was the wrong, because his punches didn't have no power. You know, and I could see very early on that Dubois is going to be the victor of that fight.
Absolutely. And just as we close this off, have you got any message to Johnny Fisher ahead of 6th of July when you do take him on?
Johnny, Johnny, this is the message. My dear friend Johnny, I was much more concerned about when I thought you were a smart man, articulate man, you know, nicely, well educated and stuff. Now, when you want to be a tough man, bro, this is going to be the easiest fight of my life. Come on, be the tough man in a tough man's world. You don't know tough, my brother Johnny.
Alen, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Always good to catch up with you. Appreciate it, and all the best, mate. Top man. Thank you, mate. Top man.
What's up, man?